Oh man, you can't see it. It just scared the crap out of me. A buck jumped out about 10 feet in front of me as I'm walking to pick berries and started running away. I hope it doesn't come back at me. If it does, you're gonna get this on film. Just go ahead. I'm not gonna bother you. You're okay. Keep going. There you go. Thank you for letting me see you. That was awesome. Oh, there's more than one. Wow, that was cool. Scared the crap out of me. I wonder how long it had been sitting in there as I'm walking down here picking. Well, night 3 was another terrible night's sleep. Probably got about 2.5 hours just waking up nonstop. Different noises, something rattling the tent, something playing with the zippers. I could feel the ground vibrate almost like a mini earthquake. It was crazy. Coupled with that, all crazy dreams. But I woke up. I didn't film this morning. It was roughly 4:50 when I woke up. The shower was still cold, but oddly refreshing. I'm getting more used to that. And the sky was crystal clear, and there were stars, just so many stars out. It was absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to take care of some chores. I need to take care of the bathroom bucket in the shower, start a new batch of water, and then I'm going to try to go pick some Elliots right away. And on my way out to the Elliots, I'm going to give you a tour of some of the farm that you guys haven't seen yet. Cool. Boop. I am mega bummed. The footage that I took when I actually walked out to pick the Elliots, it's too big to airdrop out here. I don't have Wi-Fi or anything, and I know airdrop doesn't go off Wi-Fi, but shooting in 4K, it takes so long. I let the clip get too long, so it's not going. So I'm going to redo it. But as I was walking out there, what I wanted to show is this field right here. It used to be blue crop. That's a variety that we picked yesterday, and we've talked about quite a bit. These bushes were ground down, or taken out and ground down last year. And as you can see here, this is all new growth from the base of the bush. So blueberries are very resilient, and they do not want to die. As we keep going, so we do not know for sure what we're going to do with this field yet in the spring. Maybe where we put a lot of raised beds, a flower that we're thinking about growing, and maybe some hydroponic experiments. I almost did it again where I didn't stop the clip so I could airdrop it. But this next variety, we have a couple acres here of it's called Jersey. And this is my absolute all-time favorite blueberry in the world. They taste so good. But the problem with them, sorry, I had to eat a couple. The problem with them is they don't hold up firm for very long. So supermarkets, grocery stores, whatever, they don't want them in the pints or clamshells that you would get from the store during summertime for blueberries. So these are what are called or referred to as a processed variety. They would be machine or mechanical harvested and sold for either jams, juices, frozen berries, fruit mixes, you name it. But they taste amazing. And for the 2 years that my wife and I did a small farmer's market in the area, that was the #1 variety that we would sell out of every week that we brought them. Didn't matter how much we brought, they would sell out. And the trick that we did is, a lot of people don't know, there are multiple, dozens and dozens and dozens of blueberry varieties. It's probably hundreds, right? But on our farm, or my parents' farm, family farm, we grew 9. And at any given time, because we would have early varieties, mid-season varieties, and late varieties, we would have 3 or 4. But when we brought the Jerseys and we let people taste them, they went nuts for them. So I might keep a few of them, but just because of how big they are, we're not going to keep very many more. This next field is probably, I'm not very good at guessing size, but it's probably half an acre, 3/4 of an acre, give or take. And it's a special variety that we're actually not supposed to have anymore because we're not part of the association that owns the genetic rights to these. And this was from when I was trying to help my parents pivot and change up the varieties and what we were doing on the farm. So it's a late season variety, even later than the Elliots that I was going to pick, that I did pick. And thought process behind that is there's a very special window where Michigan is the only state or really region in the world that produces fresh blueberries. And for a lot of farmers back in the day, Elliots was that money-making variety. These are Elliots right here. They're a beautiful berry, but as I've touched on before, they ripen and turn blue before the sugars have fully developed. So they're kind of sour. And a lot of people are like, oh man, that's super sour. A lot of people would pick them because they're very susceptible to splitting. And that is where the bottom of the berry splits if there's too much rain while it's being ripened. So you, the consumer, may have gone to the store, bought these, tasted them, were like, what the heck, I'm not ever buying these. And people are smart and they asked, found out that the variety was called Elliots. And I'm kind of rambling, but you can still get a decent amount of money for them. But that's all that backstory isn't what killed or made this harder for a lot of farmers. What did it, I'm just gonna pick another one to see if it's good. What did it is a ton of other countries in the world realized that they can grow blueberries. And South America and other countries are able to produce, climate control their fruit, and ship it up during the very similar special time that Michigan has. So now that magic window of making buku dollars off of, I don't want to share what we would get for these per pound, but essentially all the other varieties of the season would be, ouch, what would cover your cost. These, the Elliots, would be your profit for the year. And in a bountiful year with bountiful prices, you can make a lot of money. And that's really not the case for a lot of people anymore. So what's going on is a lot of smaller blueberry farmers, like my parents in the area, have shut down operations. They can't afford to do it anymore. And it's really sad because of the changing market. But a lot of these farmers, like my parents, no shame to them or anybody else, didn't pivot, didn't see the writing on the wall, and change their business model to still have blueberries, but figured out different streams of income. So that's what ultimately made my parents decide not to farm it anymore. They were pouring money into it. Guys, gals, it is not cheap to irrigate every couple of days. It's not cheap to spray every couple of days because of the pests that are out here if you do a non-organic blueberry. The food safety program, all this stuff was expense. And it just got overwhelming for them. They couldn't do it anymore. So they gave up. They didn't get rid of the farm. They just stopped taking care of it. And you got to think about something for a second. My dad was the third generation. That's what he did his whole entire life. I cannot even imagine the stress that he went through and the sleepless nights of knowing that he was going to stop it. But he did. And I'm glad that they did, because they're much happier now and they're not facing financial ruin. And like a lot of the other farmers in the area, fortunately for them, they were able to hang on to the land and keep it in the family, where a lot of these other people were not. And there's farms for sale everywhere. Our neighbor across the street, he's had it for, I don't even know how many years, ever since I've been alive. He's selling his. We knew a gentleman, helped my dad out, picked his fruit for him, packed it for him, had an amazing farm. He couldn't make it work. He's one of the smartest blueberry people I've ever met in my entire life. There's a problem if he can't make it work either. So, circle back. What my wife and I are going to do, A, we're purchasing this, or have purchased it, to keep it in the family. We intend to maybe build out here, but also farm and work on a lot of our passion projects. We're going to keep some of the blueberries, but we're going to pivot into the way that I wanted to with my parents, hopefully, in the future. And part of this 30 days of being out here is doing work to get us set up for that and documenting the journey with, documenting the journey with you guys and gals so you can see what we're going to do. So not going to give everything away that we're going to do out here, but give you little snips here and there, try to explain the history, educate you, and just keep it entertaining. So once again, I apologize for not being able to put the footage of initially picking, but I hope you like that deer scaring the crap out of me and me getting it on film. And hopefully I can get some sleep tonight, and we'll report back tomorrow. Thank you.